This video is brought to you by AztecaSoccer.com, your one-stop shop for all the latest and greatest soccer gear. Be sure to use coupon code SR4U at checkout to receive 10% off any order of $75 or more. Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the SoftGround Pro CR7 Nike Mercurial Vapor 10 in the Gala/Glimmer colorway. Now inside the box they do include a couple of extras. The first thing that they include is this little tag right here. We're going to read it. You can see that it says, "The sparkle aesthetic on this shoe will fade off during play, but will not affect the performance of this product." And then there's a little diagram here showing a very sparkly shoe and then a less sparkly shoe, which indicates that once you start wearing them, some of that sparkle aesthetic will wear off. If you're interested in purchasing a pair of these for yourself, stick around for more details on this tag, which I'm going to talk about when we take a closer look at the colorway. Other than that, inside the box you will find a stud wrench because this is the SoftGround Pro variation of the Vapor 10. That is, of course, for the removable studs. And also with this colorway, they include an extra set of removable studs. You can see they are nice anodized blue color. This set is 13 and 15 millimeters in length to go along with the slightly shorter 11 and 13 millimeter studs already included on the shoes. And then of course you get a string bag, black in color, black strings, white Nike swoosh on the front with the sparkly black outline, and then your CR7 branding in white on the back of the bag. Other than that though, all you're going to find inside the box are of course the shoes themselves. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly and take a closer look at the latest CR7 signature colorway, which I find to be particularly unique and quite attractive. Now in today's video, we're going to go over all the details such as information on the colorway and the overall performance of the SoftGround Pro Mercurial Vapor 10. And if you're interested in buying a pair of these, there will be a link in the description to the review page on my website where you can pick these up. Please keep in mind that there is a premium for the CR7 colorway. They do cost $25 extra versus the standard $200 retail of a firm ground Vapor 10. So the SoftGround Pro retails for $335. But of course, if you are interested in a pair, the Buy It Now links on that review page will have exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you can pick these up slightly below their retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, check out the review page. The link is down below in the description. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. Starting off with the colorway, obviously the key feature here, the main attraction of this shoe is the glitter/sparkle effect you have going across the entire upper. It's present on the Superfly 4 and it's still present on the Vapor 10 as well. Now the shoe features a black base with your white CR7 branding on the medial side, and on the lateral side in the front portion of the shoe, you're going to find your white Nike swoosh with the black outline. Unlike the Superfly 4, that glitter effect is only on the black portion of the upper, whereas the white areas, the Nike swoosh and the CR7 branding, has a completely matte finish with no glitter effect on top. So in that regard, it is a little bit different. And another thing that you may notice, especially when I put them side by side with the Superfly 4, is that the upper on the Vapor 10 is not as deep or as dark of a black as what you're going to find on the Superfly 4. So this is very noticeably black. This is almost like a very dark gray, almost dark silver type of color, which I personally don't mind. They both look really good. That glimmer effect definitely comes across as very strong on both colorway variations. And again, it's down to a matter of personal preference and what you're looking for as far as performance is concerned between the Vapor 10 and the Superfly 4. That should really be the main factor here, not so much the colorway, because there are some slight variations, but for the most part, they are very, very similar. Now you are going to notice that the laces on this colorway are a solid black as opposed to having that little bit of speckle, that extra detail that you find in the Superfly. So that is something that you miss out on. You do have a white Nike swoosh right here on the tongue, and your ACC branding is present there in silver as well. On the very back, you can see your Mercurial branding blacked out. And then the sole plate, as you can see, does have that bluish tinge, just like what you're going to find on the Superfly 4. Of course, it's not carbon fiber, it's compressed nylon, but it still looks the part, and being that this is a SoftGround Pro stud pattern, you can see that the metal studs are that nice blue color, where the molded plastic studs are black in color. So you have that same combination of black and blue studs on the base as well, even though this is actually a soft ground stud pattern versus the firm ground stud pattern that I have right here. Now, as far as that glimmer effect is concerned, again, that tag I showed you guys at the start of the video, we'll take a look at it one more time and read it. The sparkle aesthetic on this shoe will fade off during play, but this will not affect the performance of this product. And again, they show the sparkly shoe that eventually becomes less sparkly once you start wearing them. Now, in comparison to the Superfly 4, I will say that the glimmer effect on this particular shoe, because it isn't made from the same synthetic material on the upper, it does seem to be a little bit more consistent, almost like it's part of the upper as opposed to on top of the upper, which is kind of what it comes across as on the Superfly 4. So as far as that glitter effect wearing off, again, they are giving you a warning label that it will not be the same from when they come out of the box once you start wearing them. But for the most part, it seems to be a little bit more durable just based on how it feels in my hand on the Vapor 10 than what you're going to find on the Superfly 4. Now, as to whether or not how much of that glitter effect is going to wear off, all of it or just some of it, I don't really have any indication or any answer to that question as of right now. And until people actually start wearing them, there really isn't going to be much of an answer to that question. But what I can tell you is it definitely looks cool, and even if some of that glitter effect does wear off, it's still a really good looking shoe with the black base, the white accents, and of course the blue in the sole plate. Really clean design, and glitter or not, I think this is a great colorway. That glitter just adds to the overall kind of wow factor that this colorway wouldn't normally have. So again, leave your opinions on it down below in the comment section. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's get into the performance aspects and tech specs on the Vapor 10 so you can learn a little bit more about how this shoe actually feels. As far as performance is concerned, the Vapor 10 has really been overlooked by the Superfly 4. That is the shoe that's seen most of the attention, but the Vapor 10 really does have a lot to offer, and in my opinion, it's the best Vapor model Nike has ever put out, both in terms of the touch that it provides, the responsiveness that you get, the overall traction, and of course the comfort of the shoe. This is an extremely comfortable Mercurial Vapor model. Now, with that being said, if you guys want as many details as possible, I'm going to leave a link down below in the description to the review page on my website where you can read the full written review and get all the possible details that you could need on the overall performance, the fit, the feel as well. And then I'll also leave some annotations on screen to my playtest video, as well as several comparisons I have featuring the Vapor 10. Again, if you want more information on the overall performance. For the sake of the video, we will go over all of the major tech specs and talk about what the differences are between the CR7 colorway here and a standard colorway of the Vapor 10. Now, starting off with the upper, this is the only slight variation that you're going to find in the shoe. It is still made from a one-piece Teijin synthetic material. It does have that one-piece upper design where there is no actual tongue. It's completely seamless going across the top of the shoe, which I personally really like. The center part is a little bit stretchier, and it is still made from Teijin synthetic. This is the thinnest iteration of Teijin synthetic we've ever seen on a Mercurial Vapor model, and while it's a little bit difficult to see because of the sparkle and the color of the upper, it does have that internal fused in support cage that works directly with the lacing system. So while the upper is extremely thin, very soft and flexible from right out of the box, which makes for a very premium barefoot feel and comfortable fit, it does not lack responsiveness. It locks your foot in place when you tie the laces tight, and again, it just makes for an extremely one-to-one sensation when you are making quick cuts and accelerating, stuff like that. Really moves with your foot quite well, considering it is a thin synthetic shoe, and it's also quite comfortable. Now, the finish on the outside is where you're going to find a little bit of variation. Normally, it would have a very fine micro texturing on the standard colorways of the Vapor 10. With this one, because you have that sparkle finish, it is more of a smooth finish, and you have a slightly gritty sensation from the sparkle. But for the most part, I would say it's not too far off from the micro texturing that you would find on a normal Mercurial Vapor 10, just not quite to the same extreme. And again, once you start wearing the shoe and some of the sparkle effect does wear off, as Nike says it does, I'm not sure if it's going to get any smoother or any slicker against the ball. But again, nothing that really concerns me as far as performance is concerned. If you're looking for that barefoot feel, this shoe is going to provide it. And you can see it also does have the ACC All Conditions Control branding there. It is a feature on the shoe, acting as your wet control element, offering a little bit better grip in wet weather playing conditions. Low mercurial cut in the heel as opposed to being a mid-cut shoe like you're going to find on the Superfly 4. The heel lining is a synthetic leather material with a decent amount of padding. The insole is fully removable. I'll give you guys a quick look at that. You can see that it is blue in color to match the sole plate, and it does have the little rectangle that you often see on the signature colorways for CR7. It says created to the exact specifications of Cristiano Ronaldo, and you have the number 7 there, being that this is his 7th signature colorway. Mesh liner on top, perforation throughout, one single layer of foam, so it is a standard Mercurial Vapor 10 insole. No differences there. Not the greatest insole, but it does get the job done. And then moving on to the sole plate and stud pattern, you do have your compressed nylon sole plate, which honestly may not look as premium as the carbon fiber one on the Superfly 4, but it actually feels very, very similar. It's difficult to tell, honestly, a difference between the two. It's thin, it's low to the ground, but also very, very flexible and quite responsive in the right areas. And then being that this is a soft ground pro variation, this stud pattern is of course designed for soft plain environments. So when the ground is very soft, very wet, generally muddy, and you need a slightly longer stud, which you're going to find in the form of these metal studs and the longer molded studs in between. So you're going to get good dig into the ground and optimal traction. Like I said, when a firm ground stud pattern just doesn't feature studs that are aggressive enough or long enough to provide good traction. So that's what a soft ground pro stud pattern is designed for. You have 6 metal studs, 4 in the forefoot, 2 in the heel that are of course removable, so you can replace them with other metal studs. They include the longer set like I showed you guys earlier in the video. So if the ground is really, really soft, you can swap in that longer set and have even better traction than you would normally get. And then you have the molded studs in between, 2 in the heel, 2 at the base of the forefoot, 1 in the middle of the forefoot, 1 at the very tip of the toe, and then 1 on the lateral side of the toe, kind of a half stud, I guess is what you would call it. And again, as far as performance on soft natural grass playing surfaces is concerned, this is a great stud pattern overall, and it's still going to provide that Mercurial-esque feel, great multi-directional traction when pushing off, as well as decelerating. So that's pretty much it as far as tech specs go. Again, the Vapor 10 is a great shoe if you're looking for more of a traditional Mercurial experience that you're simply not going to get from the Superfly 4. I know it's not the most hyped up shoe right now, but again, it really does have a lot to offer in terms of performance qualities. In terms of weight, I'm sure some of you guys at least are wondering if the glitter effect on the upper adds any weight to the shoe. And the answer to that question is no, it weighs exactly the same as a standard colorway of the Mercurial Vapor 10, which you're going to see right now in real time. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US, and again the soft ground pro variation. We'll throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 7.2 ounces, which is the same as a standard Vapor 10 in the soft ground pro stud variation as well. It's about an ounce more than the firm ground model would be because you do have those screw-in metal studs and a more substantial stud pattern as a whole, which does add an ounce of extra weight. But as far as soft ground shoes go, it's still extremely lightweight, especially when the ground is very soft, very muddy, very wet and rainy conditions. These are not going to weigh you down by any means, and they definitely are going to be one of the lightest options as far as a soft ground shoe is concerned currently available on the market. So if weight is a concern and you need something that's going to provide great traction on soft ground, then the Vapor 10 is definitely a shoe to consider, even lighter than the Superfly 4. Alright, here's a look at the Mercurial Vapor 10s on feet, and as you can see, that glitter effect is very, very noticeable against the green grass background. Every slight movement shows up, and it's just a really cool idea, cool concept for colorway on a pair of soccer shoes. As far as the fit is concerned, the Vapor 10, like I mentioned earlier in the video, is in my opinion the most comfortable Mercurial Vapor model Nike has ever put out. While the Superfly 4 is getting a lot of attention for being all new, very innovative, featuring that mid-cut Flyknit upper, it certainly isn't a traditional Mercurial, which is what the Vapor 10 really does offer. It's a thin synthetic material, it's super soft, super flexible, more so than any past Mercurial Vapor model, which is part of the reason why it is so comfortable. The new one-piece design does not feature a tongue, so there's no overlapping materials. It's a very seamless sensation. It's a little bit trickier to get on, but once you get it on your foot and tie the laces tight, again, that seamless sensation that you get from the one-piece upper design wraps your foot really closely, even prior to tying the laces tight. And again, it just makes for a really nice, consistent touch across the entire foot, and also just makes for a really comfortable feel overall. It moves nicely with your foot, and break-in time, I would say, is minimal with the Vapor 10. As far as fit is concerned, it is still a Mercurial Vapor, so the overall fit is still that of a tighter shoe. So if you do have wide feet, just like past Mercurial models, this probably isn't the best option for you. So again, as long as you don't have wide feet, these should fit you just fine. And in terms of sizing, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size for the best possible fit, or just go with the same size that you wore in a past Mercurial model. Alright guys, that's it for my review of the Soft Ground Pro CR7 Nike Mercurial Vapor 10. This is a really good shoe. Again, it really has been overlooked due to the release of the Superfly 4, which features arguably a much more exciting design. But if you're looking for that barefoot, ultra lightweight, responsive experience that you've come to love from the Mercurial Vapor line, the Vapor 10 is going to offer that much better than the Superfly 4 will. It's kind of its own thing, whereas this, like I mentioned, is more of a traditional Mercurial Vapor experience. As far as the colorway is concerned and how it wears, again, until I've actually had the opportunity to wear them and still people start wearing them themselves, it's kind of difficult to say. Again, Nike does warn you that some of that sparkle finish will come off. If it's some of it or all of it, that's something that I just don't have an answer to at this point in time. But if you guys want, I can possibly make a follow-up video on how these shoes actually wear once you start wearing them. If you want any other details on the overall performance, I'd strongly recommend checking out the full written review on my website. There's a direct link to that down below in the description of this video. You'll find the full written review, you'll find the high quality images that I took myself, as well as buy it now links with the best prices online, including exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you can pick these up below their retail price. So if you're interested in a pair, that link down below in the description to the review page is the place to go ahead and check out. Also leave some more annotations on screen to my playtest video of the Vapor 10 and other comparison videos I have featuring this particular shoe. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave those down below in the comment section. Definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. That would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.